Greetings, YouTube. By the time you see this, I may be doing better than I am at the moment. It's February 6th, but I'm still recovering from COVID. Still got a bit of a cough. And the other day when I was outside working on clearing snow, I actually got dizzy from exertion. So my lung capacity isn't quite back, I guess. Um, but over a 2-week period when I was at my worst, I had a lot of time to just kind of think. Um, and I literally spent days sleeping, drifting in and out of consciousness. Uh, and one of the things that kept me awake at times was my chronic pain. I've mentioned my chronic pain here on my channel before, but I got to think about it to a depth that I don't normally do during my worst moments of COVID-19. I suffer from neuropathy. Now, everybody has a personal pain scale. Now, the official medical pain scale is from 0 to 10. 0, of course, being that you are in no pain at all, and 10 being that you are in so much pain that you immediately have to be taken to the hospital, basically because you're fearing for your sanity kind of thing. And I've never been in a 10. I don't really want to know what 10 is, but I've got a 9, and I know what a 9 is for me. And my 9 was laser surgery on my eyes. I suffer from a retinopathy, which is bleeding of the retinas. But thanks to laser surgery, I had 6 procedures done. A doctor was able to seal all the bleeding up, and since then I've really had no major issues at all since then. So he saved my eyes, so I have continued to see. Unfortunately, he burned out some of my night vision and some of my contrast vision, and the contrast vision is annoying because now I can't see shades of things as easily. Like if I'm looking at something that are too close to each other, I won't notice the difference. I've actually stepped off a sidewalk, not realizing it was a sidewalk. I just thought it was flat. It wasn't flat. Um, and my night vision is not as good as it was once, which is kind of sad because I had awesome night vision. I really did. I could walk around in the house in the dark and never need to turn a light on. It was great. Just like the light from the street outside was all I did ever see. It was awesome. But those days are gone. That's something I don't have anymore. But that was my 9. That was the most painful thing I've ever experienced because not only was it incredibly painful, which is weird because why does your retina have nerve endings? I never quite understood that from an evolutionary standpoint. Um, Figuring if anything's stabbing you in the retinas, it's too late to worry about it. But I couldn't move. You have to stay still while someone is firing a laser into your eye. So the combination was what I think made it a 9. Um, but my daily pain level is on that chart. I am never at a 0. Um, and my pain levels on the chart are between 2 and 4 constantly, 24/7, every second of my life. I run between a 2 and a 4. I take gabapentin, which is a nerve blocker, which helps. It tunes down the pain, lets me sleep, and things like that. And my particular version of neuropathy is such that it's worse when I'm not moving. Some people, it's the opposite of that. When they're not moving, it's the least amount of pain. When they move, it's worse. I'm glad I don't have that version. That would make working almost impossible. Because when I'm at work moving around, while the pain level, the background radiation is like a 2 to 4, for the most part, I can just do my thing. So if I'm walking around, it tends to be on the end of the 2 range of that 2 to 4 range. If I'm sitting, like right now, I've sat down, I've been here for a few minutes, and so it's becoming more noticeable to me. And if I'm like watching television or a movie or something with my wife, sometimes my feet will just start to do this, and I'm not really aware I'm doing it. Finally, I'll catch myself. Oh yeah, my feet are moving because I'm in pain. So I'm just subconsciously moving them because that reduces it even a little. So that's nice. Um, but at least once or twice an hour, I have a spike which goes above 4. So like a 5 or a 6. And usually at least once or twice a day, I will have a major spike where it will go above that, 7 plus. Never hit a 9, but 7 plus. And those can be really quite jarring. I've had them freeze me in place, just stop me dead in my tracks. I've had them when I was driving, which is not a good thing. Um, for the most part, the constant background radiation is my left foot, the small three toes on, I should say, these three toes on my left foot. They're always burning. They don't ever, ever, ever stop. It's been like that for about 11 or 12 years now, I guess. But I do still get spikes, and almost all of this is in my legs. Occasionally I get them elsewhere, but almost always in my legs. And again, sometimes they hit so hard, I just stop dead. And my wife will be talking to me, and then I'll just kind of go, and I'll just stop. I can't speak. Like, not listening to what she's saying, because my brain is like, you are in pain. And I'm not necessarily looking for sympathy here. I'm not just whining about this. But the chronic pain gets worse over time. And the medication isn't as effective over time. Right now I take 900 milligrams of gabapentin twice a day. That's 1,800 milligrams. And the maximum you can take is 27. And I just don't want to take it 3 times a day, because that would make my schedule different. I kind of like just taking it twice a day. It makes my life much simpler. Before I go to bed in the morning, because I work nights, and before I take a nap in the evening, boom, boom, twice a day. I like that structure. And I've been ramping up the amounts of gabapentin as slowly as possible over the last 10 years, because I know that you build up tolerance to it. So I've been trying to have that go up minimum. So I've kind of plateaued at 1,800, and I've been like that for a couple of years now. And I guess there are other drugs I could try, but there are side effects for them as well. Gabapentin's kind of working for me. But lying there in pain, not sleeping, because I couldn't at that moment because of the pain. What happens when it gets worse? What happens when the drugs don't turn it down anymore? Does the chronic pain win? It's not a cheery thought. It's not pleasant. And I'm only making this video because I want to get this out of my head. Because in there right now, it's not a lot pleasant. But it's something I have to contemplate. Don't want to. And the worst aspect of this whole thing is it's all my own damn fault. I knew that I was losing sensation in my feet. And I knew I was experiencing some minor chronic pain at one time. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the word neuropathy. I didn't understand that it was related to my diabetes. That my nerve endings were literally dying and trying to send signals to places that they didn't exist in anymore. And so my brain just kind of made that pain. My own personal nomenclature, I used to call them nerve storms. And they just happen. A few seconds here, maybe a minute there, and then they'd be okay. And at first I told myself that numbness I felt in my feet was just work related. It's because I wear work boots 8 hours a day and stand on my feet on concrete all day long. You know what I mean? That's the only reason. Because I didn't want to think about it. So that when I finally dealt with it, when I started to bleed in my eyes, and I thank my eye doctor for saving my life, because she's the one that really brought that to the fore. The pain was constant, and the nerve damage had been done. And now I don't really feel my feet. I've had toenails go bad because of injury, and I've just pulled them off because I didn't feel it. So what happens when the nerve endings finally get me? What happens when the chronic pain doesn't abate? And it's not cheery, but it's something I think about. Because we all face that kind of thing, you know? I'm not alone here. We've all got our what ifs. We've all got our point of no return. We all have our own scale of pain. Yours may be way higher than mine, could be way lower, and I'm not going to judge either way. If it's higher, boy, do I feel sympathy for you. But we all have one. And we all face it every day. Maybe you don't think about it for more than a few seconds. I'm glad for you. Maybe you can't ever not think about it. And I'm with you there, brothers and sisters. I'm with you. But what happens when maybe it wins?